Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today let's talk a little bit about relationships. Let's talk about women. So this video is mainly going to be for men. I can do an opposite video to this and make it for women if anyone's interested. But you hear a lot of guys talking about women and they really don't know much at all. I've heard everyone from my grandfather, who's 50 years older than me, to friends of mine that are younger than me, all say the same thing, and they usually say they can't figure out women and they don't know what women want, and they kind of feel like women are this enigma, this mystery creature. Well, first of all, men and women kind of want the same things, they just express it differently. There are some differences in what men and women want, but it's virtually the same. There's been studies done on this. One study done on this was done by a guy that I know and I respect a lot. I'm reading his book right now. This is a man who helped save my life. He's a psychiatrist by the name of Robert Jameson. It's not a bad idea to seek help if you need it. I'm very pro being, I'm very much into being self-sufficient. But if you're in a place of desperation, if you're in a place where you may not be able to make it on your own, even if it's coming from a place of extreme weakness and you don't know how to help yourself, it's good to seek help. And I was in a place like that at one point in my life. I wasn't suicidal, but I was self-destructive. I was on a path to prison without question. And I needed to snap out of that mindset, and I sought help. And I put my tail between my legs and I found this dude. And he was a good guy. Now, I'm not trying to make a video to promote him. I'm just giving you an idea of what it took for me at a certain point in my life to seek help. Well, you may be at this video looking for help also, just to understand things. So let's try to understand this topic. What is it that women want? Have you ever asked yourself that? What do chicks want? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read you a list here. So I have a pretty extensive list, and you'll have to follow with me. This is a list from Robert Jameson's book called The Keys to Joy-Filled Living. It's a good book. I suggest you read it. It'll teach you a lot about yourself and a lot about relationships. Again, this is a dude I really respect and I like. I know well personally. I've known him for, 25 years. So let's get into it. I'm just going to do some reading of down this list that he created. It's a great list and it's really informative, and it'll tell you, if you don't know, now you're going to know. So this is the real deal. Now, we're not speaking in all or nothings. So this is what most women want. What most women want, let's just say what women want, is a man who stimulates her mentally, makes her laugh and laughs with her. A man who, what some women want is a man who is a good companion. You can't just be a good fuck. You can't just be a good dick. You have to be a good companion. A man who's open. You can't just be one of these closed-minded dudes all the time. Like you think you know you're right. You got to be open. You got to be open-minded. Chicks dig that. What women want is a man who is loving. I mean, that's obvious, but these are questions that were asked to women. What is it that you want in a man? And this was their response. So, guys, we got to listen up here, because this is coming from them. So you can sit there and fold your arms and be like, fuck that. Well, you can be single then. You can be miserable then. You can be in bad relationships for the rest of your life then with the wrong people. This is the real deal. What women want is a man who likes to share himself with her. We can be so closed and almost too stoic. And stoicism is good, but you don't want to be so solid as a rock that nobody can break you open, especially to your chick. You can be that way around your homeboys, but around your chick, you want to be able to, to really be able to share yourself with her. You want her to do that with you. So it's going to go both ways. Women want a man who flirts with her. Just because you got her doesn't mean that it's over. You got to be able to continually continue the courtship. Even if you're 7 or 8 years, 10 years, 30, 50 years into it, continue the courtship. I used to watch my grandfather and grandmother. My grandmother's been dead but for many years, but I used to watch them flirt with each other as old people, and it was very cute. Some people stop that within a first year of relationship, 2 years. They think, oh, well, the magic's gone. Nah, it's you. You guys aren't even meant to be together. What women want is a man who is warm and affectionate, has the same sexual appetite as she has, and that's an important one. You know, I went through this myself. I was going through such hard times with my business, with my life around me, with my health, with all kinds of external factors. And I was in a relationship with an amazing woman. And, you know, I just wasn't banging her enough. I wasn't having enough intimacy with her. I didn't have the sexual appetite that she had at the time. I was just so incredibly stressed and was having a hard time putting my energy onto her. Well, you know, that's a major flaw. A woman wants a man who is mature. That's a big one. Stop being a little baby. They have these images of men throughout our culture, especially on television. You can see it through television shows since the 1950s, all the way up through cartoons today, of these useless men who just act like overgrown children. Chicks don't dig that. You may think that's cute. Chicks don't. Women don't like that. Women are typically more mature than men. We know that. Teachers know that when they see it in classrooms. Parents know that when they have multiple children of, you know, different genders. And you're really going to have to try hard. You can be a goofball and a little idiot around your friends, around your homeboys. But around your woman, you want to raise your maturity level to hers. A woman wants a man who is happy. Work on your happiness. If you're a miserable guy, nobody's going to want to be around you. Your friends might tolerate you. I know mine have, and thank you if you're out there and you're my homeboys and you've tolerated me through the years, because I've had all kinds of anger issues. Oh my God. People suffered through it, but a woman won't suffer through that shit. She'll leave your ass. A woman wants a man who has a natural affinity for her, is growing emotionally and spiritually. You can't stay stagnant. I say this all the time. People get sick of it. It's true. You can't live in stasis. You're either moving forward or backward in life. Always move forward. Bring other people with you. Inspire others to move forward with you. A woman wants a man who's likes his life and enjoys the world. Likes to learn about things. Is kind, is inquisitive. A woman wants a man who is friendly. That's important. Not just to her, but to everybody. Nice guy. Nice guys don't finish last. That's emasculated, weak sucker shit. Suckers, beta males, tell themselves that. Because they're too scared to be friendly to others. They're living in fear. Some of the most hardcore people I've known killers, mob guys. Guys who are, worse than the worst. And they can still be friendly. So if they can, you can. A woman wants a man who wants to have loving extended family, fits with her family. If you don't fit with her family, and I'll put that, I don't think this is on here, but if you don't fit with her friends either, you just like her, you guys vibe real hard, but you can't get along with her family, you hate her family, you don't really care for her friends, guess what, homeboy? You really ain't meant for this chick. She's not meant for you. You guys are forcing it. A woman wants a man who helps her feel secure emotionally and financially. That doesn't mean you gotta float her. That doesn't mean you gotta be paying for her. That doesn't mean you gotta own her or treat her like a child. But this goes back generations, hundreds of years. If you can't support your chick, dude, there's a problem with that. And you don't have to support her. I'm not trying to be your father. I'm not trying to pay your bills. I want a woman who's self-sufficient, but what if the worst happens? So let's go forward. A woman wants a man who helps her feel secure emotionally and financially. We said that one. Wants to make a warm home with her, likes to have friends over to enjoy the home they created together. You gotta have mutual friends. You can't just have your friends and her friends. I've been there before, and I forced those relationships, and I realized that I wasn't with the right person. A woman wants a man who enjoys traveling, likes exploring, sightseeing, painting, dancing, and sharing of their lives. This whole solitary notion of it's us against the world, baby, this kind of Bonnie and Clyde thing, that's ridiculous. It's not ride or die. That's not like true loyalty. It's just too afraid people hiding from the world. A lot of guys get this way and they want to drag their chick in. They draw them down into their little cave. Eventually she's going to leave you. She's not going to really be for that. A woman wants a man who makes her feel safe in the world. That's important. I'm a firm believer that as men, we're protectors. Your children and your woman, they should feel like that you can handle any situation. Doesn't matter if it's a group of rioters, a bunch of gang members, some really out of control homeless person, go through various scenarios of danger. She should feel like you can protect her. She should be able to stand behind you and say, go get him, honey, and you should be able to do it. Doesn't matter how scared you are. I've been so scared, but I don't stop. I'll protect someone with my life. A woman wants a man who shares her spiritual beliefs. A woman wants a man who has lots of interests, yet has time for travel and adventures and fun. A woman wants a man who is caring. A woman wants a man who has a good sense of humor. Now that's an easy one for a lot of guys, because a lot of guys are really funny and they use their sense of humor kind of as a fishing lure. Keep your sense of humor. Laugh with your chick every day. Always continually have fun. Life is supposed to be fun. People like being around fun people. I have had this failure in my life. Sometimes I haven't been so fun to be around. I can be so wrapped up in my life and be very serious about my journey that sometimes I forget to explore my fun side, and I have to force it on myself. I've forced myself to watch comedies and to just have a little more fun. People like that, especially women. So a woman wants a man with a good sense of humor. A woman wants a man who is giving. A woman wants a man who likes to communicate. That's a big one, guys. You got to learn to communicate. People are willing to try to pick that layer off and see what's going on with you only so much. And they're going to get sick of that shit. You got to be open with it. A woman wants a man who is willing to experiment sexually, who is expressive, who's romantic. Learn romance. That's also been another hard one for me, especially later years in a relationship. Sometimes the romance goes out of it. That's your fault. You got to continually be about that. Now, you got to find a woman who's about it also. You can't be dating a vampire who just simply, or a baby, a child who just in a high chair who always wants you to feed me, feed me. She's got to meet you halfway on some of this stuff. So everything on this list goes both ways. A woman wants a man who's a dreamer. I don't mean a child who dreams about being a cowboy or a superhero, but to have ideology, have goals, have hope. A woman wants a man who's intelligent. Read a book. I'm reading one for you right now, but read a book. It's a good way to get smart. Go read. If you're one of these guys that doesn't read, your chick is going to start being attracted to guys who do. A woman wants a man who's a rational thinker, who's a good negotiator. A woman wants a man who is financially secure. Now, you don't have to be her bank account. You don't have to share your money 50-50 with her like that. My grandparents were married for 65 years. They had separate bank accounts. My grandmother had her own money, her own job. She didn't need his money, but of course they shared it. and she knew she was financially secure because of him, and he had much more money than her. Women like that. They like a dude with a job, a car, you know? Have your own shit, have your own apartment, be able to afford a place. Don't be a leech. Chicks don't dig that. A woman wants a man who loves music, who plays sports or is active in some way. You're a couch potato. You spend your life behind a computer. You have to be more well-rounded than that. I'm not saying you have to go out there and be Michael Jordan just to score a relationship. But if you can't be active in your life, your old lady's going to start looking at guys who are. A woman wants a man who has healed his relationships with his parents. Now that's a big one. If you're one of these people who hates his family, always bitching about my mom, my sister, my father, whatever, you're a child. That gets really old. It really does. Work it out. Figure it out. It might be on you. You might have to be the bigger person. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. I have a whole other video about it. Forgiveness is incredibly hard. It's what leaders do. A woman wants a man who is intimate. A woman wants a man who can be cozy with her. A woman wants a man who likes a variety in sexual expression. Don't just bang her out for 2 minutes in missionary position once every Friday night. You know, get freaky sometimes. Chicks dig that. A woman wants a man who looks sexy. You know why she dreams about these actors? We know which ones, you know, like say like Thor or that, who's the guy who played Aquaman? Jason Momoa or whatever. These are just the typical dudes that women dream over. There's a whole list of them, right? These heartthrob motherfuckers. They can steal your chick away in 2 seconds. Why? Because they look sexy. You might not. You might just be one of these sweatpants wearing sandals and socks wearing loser. You kind of, how do you think you're going to get a chick like that? How are you going to keep a woman like that? What's wrong with you? A woman wants a man who moves gracefully. That comes with a certain amount of physical prowess of being in good shape. Sloppy, fat, out of shape people have a hard time moving gracefully because they have no muscle in their bodies. They don't even know how to stand up straight. Stand up straight. I always stand up straight with my head high. I had a woman I was dating one time compliment me on that, and she was like, you know, that's one of the reasons why I really like you, is because you present a certain amount of confidence and you stand up straight. So many guys walk around slumped over. It's so unattractive. It really is. A woman wants a man who is comfortable with his body. So if you have body issues, it's like she's going to be talking to one of her girlfriends. These guys she's dreaming about in these movies, these aren't guys with body issues. A woman wants a man who's attentive. A woman wants a man who lets her know he loves her. And that should be an easy one. I always try to make a point to tell a woman that I love her. She doesn't have to say it back to me. I'm not saying it. It's not a game of tennis. It's an expression of my feeling from the inside. A woman wants a man who is confident around her, who's comfortable to be with. You know, and that means that if there's always some kind of weird, awkward tension in your relationship, you may not be with the right one. You guys might not be vibing together. Some of that comes from you and your confidence. A woman wants a man who has a similar history to her. Now that can be difficult for some of us with tough histories. You know, I've run with gangs, I've run with the mob, I've been in all kinds of really bad scenarios. I'm not looking for a chick who was with the mob. But I like a tough chick. I'm a tough dude. I like a tough chick. I don't like no weak person. I like someone who's got some streetwise to them, who's been through it a little bit, who can handle herself, who can smack a dude down if she has to. I like that. I'm attracted to that. So a woman wants a man who relates to the world like she does. That can be politically, socially, spiritually, in various ways. A woman wants a man who has similar values. A woman wants a man who gets along with her friends and she gets along with his friends. I kind of touched on that, but it's important. I've been in relationships before where I thought every single person that she knew was just a straight up loser, but I liked her. Well, she's going to be one of her friends. If you think her friends are all losers, guess what, homie? You think she's a loser too. You're probably only into her for that ass. It's not a real relationship. A woman wants a man who has a creative and active mind. And that can be anything. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to be creative, but if you're not expressing your creativity, she may lose attraction to you. A woman wants a man who is streetwise, and I kind of mentioned that already, but it's important to have both education and wisdom. You can't be a punk. A woman wants a man who thinks she is smart. That's also important. A woman wants a man who wants to know what she thinks about things. A woman wants a man who is self-sufficient. I've mentioned that, but it's really a good one. Be self-sufficient, emotionally, financially, in every way. And it doesn't mean you have to be alone, but you have to be able to be alone. You have to be able to handle things. A woman wants a man who likes helping out around the house. If you're lost in the 1950s, you're probably going to have a hard time. I think I might be running out of time here on this video, so let me end it here. Thanks for watching.